Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You are here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. Got a match for you today. Unfortunately, it's a domination match. We are on Shatter in the Soviet Tier 8 tech tree battleship, the Sovetsky Soyuz. This match is really slow in the beginning, so let me read a little bit of history about the Sovetsky Soyuz. Project 23, a response to the Bismarck-class battleships. 4 hulls were laid down, 3 ships were slated to be completed, and they were never completed after Germany invaded the Soviet Union. They've got 406mm guns. I'm quoting from Wikipedia, the failure of the Soviet armor plate industry to build cemented armor plates thicker than 230 millimeters would have negated any advantages from the Soyuz class's thicker armor in combat. So this is a ship that wouldn't have been as powerful as it should have been simply because Soviet armor could not make cemented armor plates that were thick enough. And I don't know if they didn't have cemented armor technology
Concentrate
or
fire on the
not.
target.
It just says they were incapable of producing plates of cemented armor thicker than 230 millimeters. So then they use face hardened plates. Obviously, those don't stand up as well in combat. All right, we already shot at a Republic. I want to say I looked at the teams again. I was just say, oh, 1 destroyer, no aircraft carriers. Okay, that's good. And other than that, I really didn't pay attention to anything. And we'll get into why that's important, because there was somebody in this video I did not realize they were there. And I'll tell you when in this match I realized that this person was in the game. Alright, so I don't want to be a jerk and push this guy out in front of me. So we're slowing down, trying to manage my speed. That being said, I need to get out of this kind of channel to my right side, my starboard side, where somebody could shoot and citadel my ship. So just trying to inch forward here a little bit and get to a safe location. Because there are no carriers, I can launch my fighter plane. Although I would tell you that, the fighter plane is of dubious use in Russian ships. Very rarely do they actually shoot down a carrier-based bomber. Maybe just 1 or 2 in multiple games. All right, here we're going to take some side shots of the campaign ship, the Marco Polo. As you can see, it's 11.5 kilometers away, so that grouping was good but not great. But again, they have the special dispersion formula. Outside of 11 kilometers, it's going to really start opening up. So that was kind of at the cusp of good. It's going to get a lot worse any farther away the enemy ships are. So the big thing with the Sovetsky Soyuz is management. And I would say you could say this about all of the Russian ships. You're managing these limited damage control parties. We're letting this fire burn until right then. You're managing the limited amount of heals. You're managing your range because you want to be like 8 to 11 ideally. In my opinion, in these kind of ships, you're managing your armor profile. The armor profile of the Soyuz, as I described, isn't as strong as it could have been. Maybe if all technology had been available, we would have seen a true icebreaker bow. This ship doesn't have one. So a lot of management is going on here when you're playing these Russian ships. All right, everybody went dark. I honestly don't know how to explain what my team was doing here.
I need intelligence data.
Nobody's spotting. No enemy ships are currently spotted. Although the enemy destroyer is dead, the ship that was ahead of us went and got killed by somebody. We've got one battleship on the far left side of the map, and everybody else is behind me for the most part in a pocket, and nobody is trying to do anything. And unfortunately, you are going to see this in the current gameplay. It's a combination of people who don't know what they're doing, have legendary tier ships, and the people who do know what they're doing don't want to go get themselves killed because no one is spotting for them. And granted, that's why I'm not moving forward right now, because my nightmare is I push forward and then I get focused by 3 or 4 ships at once. Here the Republique manages to hit me from over the island, so I'm just going to back up here. You know, I'm just not even willing at this point to go forward without any spotting. And I really just don't have any idea what the players on my team are doing, especially the destroyer. Maybe he's trying to engage ships in the Charlie Cap with torpedoes. I just don't know. You know, this is one of these Rorschach test maps where they just make up islands in the middle of nowhere in weird shapes or whatever. So I'm not saying the destroyer shouldn't be the farthest most ship back on the map, because the way this game is kind of playing out, in order to engage Charlie Cap, he kind of has to be where he is. But nobody is doing any spotting whatsoever. And this ship and its armor profile are so weak to broadside salvos, I don't feel comfortable pushing forward. You've got this one ship, that guy, what is he doing? I mean, can he even spot anybody? And there we've got a Marco Polo on the enemy team. The only red ships are kind of through an island here. And so you're looking at my team and you're like, how can most of these ships even engage the enemy over at Charlie Cap? And the answer is they can't. You know? So I don't know if this was just me being get off my lawn, or if it was some strategy of warships that is far beyond my comprehension. But I've had enough of this, and I'm pushing forward. Full speed ahead, damn the torpedoes. I think maybe Farragut said that. I'm just like, whatever. I'm going. All right, Alaska. I'm like, I'm not going to hang out and wait for the Alaska.
The enemy team
You
is
know,
taking the lead.
the enemy just killed one of my teammates. I'm not going to sit here in this firing lane and wait for the Alaska, hopefully, to come out and hopefully show me broadside. But I do realize I can jump some shells here, so I'm going to try. And I do hit the island, but I also do get a couple of pens, so I'm pretty happy about that. All right, we're turning to avoid this island here. Again, I don't know. Maybe somebody else who is in this match can comment on what the rest of the blue team is doing. I don't know. But I said screw it. I'm going forward. Now I know the Yamato's drawing fire, and that's good. Hopefully he's doing it in a responsible manner. However, I don't think he is. Alright, speaking of responsible, look at this Republic giving us the full broadside. We'll take it. Even though we did a little landscaping there on that island. That was okay. Are those all overpens? That's not good. Alright, we turned and mitigated how bad that salvo could have been as return fire. We're going to keep turning. I know the enemy is off to my starboard side. I don't want to give them a flat broadside. So we're going to turn back and let our front turrets go around. And we'll aim for Republic again. I feel really good about that one. And we punch him again. Somebody sets me on fire, and I'm like, St. Louis. Is St. Louis a French ship? I think it might be a French tech tree cruiser. I really don't know. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Who is the commander of that ship? And I'm like, freaking Metajerk was in this match, and I didn't even realize it. He's probably making a video with this stupid St. Louis, and I am not going to let him posterize me. I'm not letting that happen. So we are getting out of the middle, folks. Compliant Republic commander over here. We are going to line it up, and we're going to take him out. Hit the Citadel, our first kill. over 70,000 damage in the
Attention.
Sovetsky
Reporting the
Soyuz.
target position.
Alright, so I'm like, hey everybody, shoot at that Metajerk guy. Here's a poorly aimed shot at the GK. Should have had that a little bit lower in the
Battle ends in
water.
5 minutes.
Or lower on the aim point, pardon me. Alaska here, I'm turning. I'm like, maybe I get side shots at the Alaska. We're going to shoot at Metajerk, but he's not giving me a great angle here. He's too smart for that. Oh yeah. We'll revisit. We'll come back to that later. Alright, so we're turning. We're just trying to get the Alaska on here. We've taken some damage now. And again, I don't have a ton of heals. And then I'm like, hey, wait a minute. What is this Yamato doing? You are giving full broadside to a Soviet ship? Oh, no, sir. Don't do that. Oh, no. Oh, and second thought. Do that. Do give me your broadside. Do keep aiming your guns at whatever your gun's at. Don't aim them at me. Just keep doing exactly what you're doing, Yamato. And I'm going to show you the power of pure stellinium in about 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Boom. 5 hits to Citadel.
We destroyed an enemy battleship.
I think that's probably a 65 to 70,000 damage salvo. So I'm good with that. That was good. That worked for me. Alright, we got a dev strike out of that. How could we not? We evaporated that Yamato. So even though we're down tier, you can still punch ships with bad armor and take them out. Alright. Okay. So now I'm like, hey, I think this is probably my tech tree game. So let's see what we can do here in the rest of this match. It's going to be kind of funny. Alright, so I'm like, Alaska. Let me shoot at him. Well, there's an island in the way. Alright, let me shoot at this GK. Oh, he's behind an island. I'll never get to shoot at him. Alright, and we're tied on the scoreboard. Enemy team, 4 ships left. Blue team, 4 ships left. I'm like, let me shoot at the Alaska. Oh, he's giving me an angle, but the GK isn't. Shots out on the GK. Kill pinch. Achieved. Alright, kill number 3. I don't have time to be on fire. We immediately put it out. Turning, so we're giving an angle to the Alaska driver. I'm like, hey everybody, shoot at this Alaska. I wish somebody else had shot at the Alaska more meaningfully. Like that one right there, all missed. We're going to shoot at the Alaska. Oh, we leave him hanging on a thread because of those stupid overpens. Oh, high caliber unlocked. But we are not going to get to kill the Alaska. I cannot chase him because there are 2 other ships out there, including a very healthy St. Louis. I can't do it. So someone else is going to kill the Alaska. But I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I can shoot at this Marco Polo. Now there are torpedoes going towards the Marco Polo. And right there I thought, oh, the Marco Polo is going to be dead. Thankfully, he is not dead. So we didn't get to kill the Alaska, but we are going to get to kill the Marco Polo. We're going to turn here. We're going to get all these turrets on target. And as soon as we get it clear, we are going to fire. And rear turret hit the island. But we get enough hits there to take him out. Just 1 hit, actually. Kill number 4. Alright, we're officially on the hunt for a Kraken, ladies and gentlemen, in the Sovetsky Soyuz. And we are capturing the Bravo Cap. And I'm like, hey, the last guy left is Metajerk. There's less than a minute left in this match. Maybe, if I get 1 good shot at him with a full broadside, maybe I can take him out. Maybe. I just need 1 salvo. And I think if he's giving me flat broadside, I can punch him hard enough to take him out of the match. Alright, so our turrets are slowly turning around. Metajerk is taking some damage. They're slowly turning. The time is ticking down. I'm like, please, just give me 1 shot at him in open water for the Kraken. And I see him. I'm like, these buildings are in the way. They're in the way, but I have to shoot. He's going behind an island. I shoot. Almost all the shells hit the island in front of us. The last one hits the island in front of Metajerk. No shells on target. He is safely behind the island. And the time runs out. And it's a crack. Oh, and I would have sent him a message, but he did not accept messages. Anyway, here we are on the defeat screen. 186,748 total damage. Dreadnought medal, devastating strike medal, high caliber medal, 4 big kills, 7 hits to Citadel, and a solo base cap. We ended up with 377,591 silver and 3170 ship XP and commander XP in the Sovetsky Soyuz. So definitely insane damage potential in this ship. You got to manage your broadside, and you got to manage the targets you're engaging in terms of their angle. There we are at the top of the board, 21-13, 4 big kills, a GG to probably, in my opinion, one of the best players in the game. I think if we could have gotten a clear shot on him, folks, I really, really think we could have taken him out. I was like, oh, I want to send him a message. I can't. So Metager gets the solo warrior in the St. Louis. Maybe he'll have this video on his channel. If he does, I'll link it or whatever. But yeah, so that's the Sovetsky Soyuz. All right, here in the port. Aiming system mod 1. Damage control system mod 2. Concealment system mod 1. And main battery mod 3. And the ship is fully upgraded. Taking a look at the loadout, you've got 5 charges of the short duration damage control party, 3 charges of the repair party, 5 charges of the catapult fighter. Don't expect it to shoot down any enemy airplanes. We didn't use any booster flags, got this temporary Type 2 camo, and the VMF Day 21 flag. Moving on to the stats, 88,100 hit points and a 37% torpedo damage reduction with our build. Artillery, 3x3 406mm turrets, 17.9 kilometer firing range, 27.4 second reload, 28.9 second turn time, HE shells, 5,800 max damage with a 40% fire chance, armor piercing shells, 13,250 max damage. Not a lot of secondaries, 6x2 130s. They reload every 5 seconds. The max range is 5.2 kilometers. The max damage, 1900 HE shell damage with an 8% fire chance. AA defense, you can see your secondaries are dual purpose and do count as AA. Kind of odd, the 37mm 46Ks, that's your best guns by damage per second. But I don't understand, wouldn't the 37mm V11s, because they have a longer firing range, be lower down on this list? I don't work for Wargaming. I just thought that was odd, and I thought those two would be flipped around. All right, maneuverability, 28 knots, 950 meter turning circle, 14.9 second rudder shift time, and concealment, 14.2 on the surface, 11.4 from the air, 15.2 when firing in smoke. Here is the armor viewer. I see some purple, oddly shaped purple. All right, you have a big, lightly armored, above water citadel. Yikes. All right, but when you put on this torpedo belt, you can see you have kind of a spaced armor there. This armor belt ranges between 420 to 375. So again, that doesn't mean you can show full broadside. You got a torpedo bulge farther down the ship here. But I think this should act as spaced armor. All right, we'll put the bow back on. You can see 32mm bow. That armor belt does not come all the way up to the front, so it is not an icebreaker bow. So your bow can be exploited by enemy ships. Please keep that in mind. You want to show an angle kind of like this angle. You're looking directly to the. You want the enemy to hit that purple spot. All right, turrets and barbettes. Turret faces and barbettes are heavily armored, except where the barbettes go into the casemate. The rear of the turret is also heavily armored, but the roof and the sides are lightly armored. You will get these knocked out, unfortunately. But all in all, I would say it's a pretty good profile for the turret faces and the barbettes. All right, putting the casemate armor back on, you can see the rest of that armor belt and armor plate. And so, all in all, I think it is a good angled armor scheme, not necessarily for bow tanking. That is the armor of the Soyuz, and definitely want to manage that. All right, here is our commander, the base commander, Nikolai von Essen. Base trait increases the minimum ricochet angle for the armor piercing shells. Um, if you've got lower caliber guns for the tier, that might come in handy. All right, Kedrov and D. Ravel as our inspirations. I hate to say it, a lot of these skills really didn't come into play in the match. No fly zone, that's good, but we didn't face carrier, so we didn't really need that. Before it's too late, only one destroyer killed right away. I just didn't want to use crisscross. I have this weird thing. I like it when the reload of the main guns is a little bit faster than the turret traverse, so I took that off. Collective labor, we get an extra damage control party charge. And there's no shortening of it like there is for volunteer for the other two battleship commanders. Reaching out XXL, we needed that. And fully packed gave us an extra damage con, an extra heal, and an extra plane. That's how we set up the commander for the ship. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this game. Meta jerk. I wish I could have gotten those shots off. I think we could have taken him out. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, folks. Thanks for watching.